If you haven't tried jicama, you're missing out. Not only is this vegetable very reasonable, full of nutrition, but it is also delicious. And in this video, I am going to show you how to make this delicious salad using jicama. Stay tuned. In case you don't know what jicama is, let me introduce you to it. So jicama is a starchy root vegetable. It is mainly grown in Mexico, but also there are some Asian countries that grow them. You can basically buy jicama at almost any grocery stores. You can easily find them in Mexicans and Hispanic stores, also Asian markets, and even your regular grocery stores. And I don't think jicama has season because I always see it no matter what time of year I go to the store. But it has this crispy kind of like the taste between an apple and maybe raw potatoes. I know that sounds weird, but that's the best description I have for it. But it is sweet and starchy and it tastes pretty good. And they all come in different size and shapes, and you can get a jicama for about $1 and some change to $2 and some change, or maybe the huge one for like $3, but it is pretty reasonable. This vegetable is highly nutritious and a lot of people are sleeping on it, but you can eat it raw, you can cook it, you can mix it up with other fruits and vegetables. There's so many ways to eat jicama. So some of the benefits of jicama is that it is low in calories, high in fiber, and it's made up of about 85% water. So it keeps you hydrated and it's great for weight loss or weight management. It is also an excellent source of vitamin C. It's a good source of potassium. It has great antioxidants, which is great when it comes to protecting your cells against cell damage and fighting against free radicals, which are molecules that causes oxidative stress, which can lead to cancer and other diseases. An additional added benefit of jicama is that it has prebiotics, which is the good bacteria that is great for gut health. It's good for immune support. So it's the good bacteria that you need in your gut to fight off the bad bacteria in your gut. If you have too much of the bad bacteria in your gut, it could lead to yeast infection, overgrowth of candida. It can suppress your immune system. So eating a lot of prebiotic as well as probiotics are very important when it comes to gut health as well as immune support. So first thing you want to do is wash your jicama thoroughly before you start to cut it. And you just cut the top part of it and then the bottom part. It is a little bit difficult to cut, but at least peeling it is easy. So as you can see here, just cut out a little bit of the skin and just peel it all the way across. That's the easy part. And jicama is very crunchy and crisp. So once you get the pieces cut off, it is easier to cut them in smaller pieces. So once the skin is peeled off, you just go ahead and take off any little particles of the skin that is left or any discoloration. And then this is the harder part, like cutting it into sections. But if you have a good knife, it should work easier. And I believe there's a jicama cutter, if I'm not mistaken. I do see people use some kind of device or cutting tool to cut them in like really nice pieces. I just don't know what that is yet. But anywho, once you're done cutting it into slices, you can go ahead and cut it up into cubes. And this is if you're making like a salad or something. But if you want, you can also cut them in the shape of French fries. Now, the sizes that you choose to cut it depends on you, but since I'm making a salad with it, I like to get them as small of pieces as possible. And it doesn't have to be perfect, but I try to cut them as small of pieces as possible. And As you'll see later, once I was done cutting them, I went over them just to make sure that I didn't have any huge pieces.
This video is sponsored by Self-Expression. The links will be in the bio.
So here I'm just finding some chunky pieces and cutting them up a little bit smaller so that all can look about the same. The next main ingredient I'll be adding to this salad is beetroot. So beetroot is a great source of antioxidant. It helps lower blood pressure. It helps increase blood flow. So if you have circulation problems like myself, eating beetroot and also beet juice is really great at helping the increase of blood flow. Beetroots are also high in fiber, and it teaches you a lot about your digestive system because when you go to the toilet after you consume them, your stool is red, so you know exactly how long it took to digest the beets. I've been recently doing some research about beetroots and I'm discovering that it has a lot of health benefits. I've been trying to find ways to incorporate beets in my recipes. I like tasty things, so I am always finding recipes and ways to make beets likable to my taste. So I've been trying different ways, but this is definitely one of the ways that I like to use beets, as well as making beet juice with carrots and pomegranate. So here are my beetroots, but I'm only using one. I already washed it and chopped it up into small pieces, and it's the first ingredient going in this mason jar. And by the way, I've been using mason jars for my salads quite a bit just because it's convenient. And be careful with beetroot or beet juice because it does stain. And next, I am gonna add the jicama pieces or the chopped up jicama in this jar. The next ingredient is carrots, which gives it an extra crunch and it gives it that sweet taste. It just goes really well with this recipe. But I'm only using about 3 pieces of carrots and I chopped them up into small pieces. So I'm adding that to the jar. And the next ingredient is mangoes. Mangoes and jicama, they go so well together. I'm using a medium-sized whole mango chopped in pieces, and you don't want it to be too ripe, but I like mine a little sweet, just because of the other things that I'm going to be adding to it later. So once it's done, I also add some pickles, and pickle also go amazingly well with this ingredient. So I just took a few pieces out of the jar, chopped them up into smaller pieces, and add that into the jar as well. Mangoes and carrots go really well with this recipe. The other reason why you want to use sweet fruits with this, and you can also substitute the mango with apples, is that the sauce that is used with this recipe is very tangy. So this is tamarind, and this is the tamarind sauce, and I made a whole video about tamarind, the benefits of it, how to make the sauce and all that. If you want to check that out, go do so, please. So with the tamarind, once I got the sauce out of it, I went ahead and add some seasoning to it. Tamarind is very sour, so it's gonna need some seasoning. So I'm gonna add some blue agave nectar. You can also use honey or sugar. 2 teaspoons of chili powder, also about a tablespoon of tahine. And tahine, you can also get from most stores, but especially Mexican stores. I'm also adding about 2 teaspoons of cayenne pepper. Now, this is up to you. By the way, I ran out, so I have to dump the rest of the remainder that was in the bottle. But it depends on how much of the spiciness you want, so you just do it according to your taste. Also some salt, and when all the ingredients or the seasonings are added, you want to go ahead and mix this up really well. And just to let you guys know, I am using an 8-cup mason jar, and then this sauce is equivalent to about a cup. So it's gonna be a little tricky pouring this in to make sure that it gets to all of it. But you want to use something to kind of push the fruits a little bit on the side so that the sauce can go through. And also later on, you want to shake it all around as well to make sure that everything is mixed in well. Another thing you can also do is just put in all this in a big bowl, mix it up, and then pour it back into the mason jar. You can just do whatever works for you. By the way, as the fruits and vegetables are soaked in this tamarind sauce, it will go down in size a little bit, so it will dense down a bit, if that makes sense. But once everything is in, you want to go ahead and shake it up a little bit. That way, all the fruits and vegetables are well marinated. Now, if you like flavorful, really tasty salad, this is it. I know it's different, but trust me, this is so delicious. And I just keep this in my fridge. I eat it by itself sometimes, and other times I'll eat it as a side dish. You can also add it onto your regular salad, like, the leafy green salad, and just mix it in. It doesn't need any dressing or anything because this already have all the flavors and, sauces and everything. This is one of my favorite recipes. Not only is it nutritious, but it is so delicious. I am big on taste, and everything I do, I like it to taste good, and this is one of them. So I decided to share with everyone else that is into good taste as well as health. The longer it sits in the fridge, the redder it gets. After a few days, this is the color that it turns to. Beet is pretty red, so it turns all the other fruits and vegetable red. But this is what it looks like. The longer it sits, the redder it becomes. And this is the fourth or fifth day of it being in the fridge. And this is the last serving of it. And it is still tasty, well marinated, and really good. Anyway, this wraps it up for this video. I thank you for watching. Let me know if you've learned anything from this video by giving a thumbs up. Also, if you're trying to be healthier spiritually, physically, make sure you do subscribe to my channels and hit the post notification button so you don't miss any of my future videos. I thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a blessed day, night, evening, wherever you are, and I hope to catch you on my next video.